What's up, guys? BULL2 the Fell-Handed here, bringing you Game 2 of Bull's Light Brigade versus the 169th Armored Division. Now, this is technically Game 3, as Game 2 was a bit on the stale side. Ended up being a draw. There were actually no determining factors on who would win a draw per se, so we went ahead and decided to run another one. Now, as you can see, 169th Armored Division is going hard, going full throttle into the city. Bull's Light Brigade as well, so we can expect a good dust-up somewhere in the middle of the city. The idea 169th has is to take a section or a block, if you will, of the center of Insk somewhere and go ahead and lock it down. Side scrape, reverse angle, what have you. Lock the fucking thing down and essentially deny access to BULL2. Will it work? Time will tell. Switching to the other side of the battlefield, we have BULL2 moving into position. Right now, we still have both teams bunched up in one area, which is always a smart move if you have small or low numbers, such as a smaller scrimmage. Have a guy peeking out on the side here, on both sides actually, a little bit of exchanging of the fire here, putting some rounds downrange, seeing what's going on. T-59 side scraping, and the 169th is not giving up any more shots. They have decided to completely pull back out of that corner. BULL2 at this time owns that alley of fire. At this point, 169th Armored Division is more or less consolidating their position. We have their leader, Big Papa Bose, in his Indian Panzer, attempting to get an angle on the guys down at the other end of the street there, trying to break this stalemate. He's taking a little bit of fire as we speak, and he's trying to essentially bait them in the shots and maybe even squeeze off a few of his own, trying to push this stalemate, which is this alley. Not a lot going on at this time. Not a lot of damage being exchanged. Rounds are trading places. No damage as of yet is being peeled off the considerable HP pool of either team. Looking back on the overall situation, we have excellent positions from both teams. Small amount of damage being taken off. Looks like we have a heavy taking top cover in a ruined building. This will enable him to fire down his primary corridor and keep the heads down of the 169th Armored Division. Not a lot of movement from either team, really just jockeying for position. 169th is consolidating its position. They choose not to advance nor retreat, but hold the position, which is a smart move. Some rounds are being exchanged, nothing definitive. We still have a shooter in the other alley. This is more or less preventing the 169th from having any lateral mobility. It appears as if Bull's Light Brigade controls both sides of the street. But I would not count the 169th Armored Division out just yet. They still have a lot of fight in them. No tanks have been destroyed due to enemy fire. There are still a number of variables on the board. Anybody's game at this point. Everyone is just attempting to marshal their forces, decide what their next move is going to be. We don't have any outlandish moves at this point. Everyone is playing it safe. Everyone is playing it cautious, which is the right thing to do in a clan scrimmage type environment. We do have the Type 59 Zodiac, the commander of Bull's Light Brigade, on the outskirts here, A lot of people would say during a clan scrimmage, it is not the time to drive around the battlefield exploring, seeing what's going on. You can safely bet that every single target on the board is lit up either by proxy or by LOS from the rest of BULL2. So, yes, I believe it's a good idea. He knows no one's going to surprise him. He knows the general idea where all the reds are, and he made a calculated risk to move up and attempt to get some side shots, maybe even some flank shots on 169th Armored Division. Now, no one is counted out yet. We have a number of guys getting ready to take some shots. We have one who seems to be outnumbered. We have Big Papa Bows and a Tiger 2 exchanging fire with the T-34, who has top cover. Rounds are being exchanged. Big Papa Bows makes a run for it, and unfortunately he gets shut down. I actually thought he had enough speed to make it through that opening, if not for the background, the two tanks behind the one hiding behind the wreckage. Unfortunately, that is the end of the game for him. 169th, however, is a long way from finished. We have some guys making excellent use of cover on both sides, putting rounds down range, angling, using their tanks to full potential. And there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of damage being exchanged. There's a lot of damage blocked. Very busy corner for Insk today. At this time, Big Papa Bo's boys are pulling back, consolidating their position, not wanting to risk any more health being shaved off the remaining HP pool, which is a smart move no matter which way you look at it. Some rounds are still being exchanged at the top of the board. We still have a strong position for 169. It looks like BULL2 is preparing to rush them. Of course, if we remember last game, when they rushed, it didn't quite work out so well. But it can be anybody's game. Just to recap, we have 4 BULL2 members left and 4 169th members left. It's anybody's game. Everyone is doing a fantastic job in putting rounds on target while retaining their HP pool. Looks like the T-59 on the outskirts is putting some rounds down range. As you can see, not a lot going on down on this flank. Let's go ahead and zoom in on Blacksoit's T-95 E2. He pulls out around the corner and takes a round, all the while returning fire. Looks like we have a push by Bull's Light Brigade coming around the side of Blacksoit's. He puts a round in them, and then both tanks take ram damage. Anybody's game now, 1v1. They're exchanging health left and right. Who's going to be the victor? They're fighting, struggling to survive, and it looks like Blacksoit's comes on top with a killing blow. Goes ahead and heads around the corner, and he gets finished before he can make it. We've got one guy left, backed into a corner. Not a good place to be at all. But you know what they say about wild animals that are backed in a corner. I wouldn't necessarily count him out without causing some type of collateral damage to BULL2. I think we all know how this story ends. This game goes to BULL2. So the total score is 2-1 games for the 169th Armored Division to 1 win for BULL2. It's still anyone's game.